Coming up next, Mark Jennings Bates on his many philanthropic adventures, plus his brief career as Lisa's co-host.
We're back with Mark Jennings Bates, and Mark and I have a bit of a history. You actually were Doug.
Yeah, my name's spelt wrong on the signs. I just noticed. I thought we had a gig. Who is this guy?
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
So Mark and I, it's actually a pretty funny story because Mark and I were going to do a talk show together, but I mean, one day he's over, like, I don't know, you're all over the world. Like, you can't
Kilimanjaro.
You can't keep track of this guy. He is literally all over the map. And so we have you in person here
For
in
a
the
couple of
studio.
minutes.
For a couple of minutes. So the whole subject today is talking about, you know, you can either be part of the solution or part of the problem when it comes to, you know, breeding community and bringing happiness to people and things like that. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good segue. Happy. That was
Right?
good. You're smart.
It's like you had a plan.
So with
talk
happy.
talk about the happy video.
Well, definitely, you know, somebody called me impromptu and said, can you help me put this happy video together? I didn't know who Pharrell Williams was, or Pharrell, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. And so I literally put a post on Facebook and said, hey, anybody want to come and dance and we'll try and film it? And literally one take on all of the stuff. People came out, it was freezing. Tina Mandel from Orange Dance Studio, she did a fantastic job. And we got a video, and Pharrell Williams liked it, or Sony liked it, because I remember signing some release saying they could use it, and it got Kelowna on the map a little bit. It was pretty cool.
And a great example of just that instantaneous, you know, community spirit that can just spring up when just somebody takes a little bit of a lead.
I think you're absolutely right. It was quite amazing how many people just did it just because, well, that sounds like a cool thing to do. Let's go do that. So I liked that. It was great.
But one thing that Mark and I did was, with every happy thing, there's always going to be some critics and things like that. And we thought, well, who could possibly criticize a bunch of people dancing in the streets and be happy? But we found that...
Yeah, there was one. This is awful and ruined a great song. Or two. Lame.
Yeah, that's a lot of L's.
Yeah.
Was she giggling when she said lame? Like, lame!
Or in fact, there was a big forum.
Really?
Castanet, actually, about Kelowna is really a sucky place to live.
I haven't read any of these. This is news to me. I just thought we made a
Oh, I'm gonna burst your bubble right now. Because
This
if you
is
were happy
sad.
before, I'm gonna suck you into the dark hole because look at what Teresa said.
Kelowna is a dark hole that sucks people in.
Right?
They're like, well, Kelowna is a not happy place.
It's false advertising.
Yeah, exactly. This is just a tourism video. This is bogus.
Lisa mentioned just how busy you are, and you're involved in all kinds of different things. I met you on the Rally for Life originally.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
So talk about some of these really cool adventures you go on and the great causes that they're for.
Well, it is cool, actually. I must admit, I get a big kick out of doing these things, but I do have a board of directors at the charity that makes sure that when we do them, they benefit the charity. So it's nice to go do adventures, but if I can't benefit somebody who needs some help, I won't do them if the board says no. This is just because you're enjoying it. So we do have kind of an evaluation process that says how much media can we get from it, what can the anticipated results be for the charity, and then we can go do them. Right now, actually in March in Rutland, I'm going to be renting one of the swimming pools and attempting to set a new world record riding a unicycle underwater for 2.5 kilometers, which...
I just wouldn't think that there was a record for that, but I guess there is.
Well, good story. There wasn't a record for it, and I thought it'd be the easiest world record to get, 50 meters, and I would be a hero. Turns out, if I had called Guinness earlier, that would have been the case, but now 2 people have set the world record, and it's 2.1 kilometers.
For underwater unicycle.
Nobody had ever done it until I thought of it, and then mysteriously,
Just out there.
caught my brain waves, and that was it. I'm now behind the 8 ball, having to ride a lot further than I wanted to.
Do you have to have a scuba tank or something?
I need someone like Lisa who's got a ticket to be able to kind of swim around and watch, make sure I don't die or whatever.
Well, I wouldn't put your life in my hands. That would just be irresponsible. Don't you know me? Come on. But would you be down for that?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm certified.
Oh, it'll be a blast. We'll have a lot of fun.
You're certified too?
Yeah.
You got 2 people right here.
That's what we need.
So besides what you're doing with this, what are some ways that people, that we were talking earlier about how on Facebook you see all these wonderful things people are doing and paying it forward and doing all these nice things.
Yeah.
What are some simple things that doesn't include riding a unicycle for 2.1?
Yeah,
Just to breed community.
the big thing is get to understand the problem because, I heard a few years ago that the homeless people in Kelowna were a real problem and businesses didn't like them. So I actually, with a friend, I dressed up as a homeless person and went and stayed at the Gospel Mission so I could understand what the problem was. And I found out that they're not the problem. That's not the issue. They're really cool people, actually, when you get to know them. But they do have needs that we need to provide. And once you understand those needs, you can start to find a way to fulfill them. It's not that difficult. It's just like the water charity that we have. To give a person water for life is about $12 or $13. It's really inexpensive, but we have to understand the problem before we can design the solution a lot of the time.
Right. And then you have kind of a unique empathy too, because walking in their shoes, you can kind of see how they're treated and things like that.
Absolutely, and I think you see people who are impacted by going overseas for the charity and seeing what that charity is doing, and then they truly understand what difference they can make when they come back and they give that charity money.
Right, I've seen that with school kids that go to Mexico or places and build orphanages and that kind of thing. Right. My daughter went to Peru and was working in a project there, a reforestation project in the mountains.
It's very impactful on the parents too, because you see how much the child changes when they come back.
It is such an important thing to have your children, or even us as adults, to experience that life so we can be grateful for what we have here.
If we're all playing our part, the world would be a better place already.
Well, thanks, Mark.
Well, thanks for letting me sub in for you.
Hey, you're welcome, Doug. I'll be back next week, same time.
Doug, Lisa, and Mark.
Anytime.
Well, thanks so much.
Hey, I appreciate it.
All righty.